Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and on the horizon, Luke Cage, Season 2 on Netflix. All right, so this is apparently going to be released on June 22nd. I'm down. Yep, I'm free because I will clear my entire schedule. I will be binge watching the heck out of that. Now, they don't really show too much. They show a quick little 30-second teaser, if it's that. Luke Cage just kind of coming down to his cell phone. It's like he's grabbing and he's looking dead at it like this. He's like, I'm Luke Cage. You can't burn me. You can't, I don't know, tase me. You can't break me. So you can't do anything. You can't hurt me. And he said, you wanna try me? Test me. Come on. So tough guy acting tough. I have no problems with that whatsoever. It looks good just for the little bit. It looks like it's going to follow the exact same path. You got some great music in the background. I, what else could you ask for? Oh, wait, I know what I can ask for. How about sexy Misty Knight with that robotic arm, the bionic arm? Oh, yes, I'm getting that too. You are also. So here's the thing. We got the hint at the end of the Defenders that it looks like the RAND technology is going to be the thing that actually gives her, the institute that gives her the bionic arm. That's fine. It's actually Tony Stark in the comic books. I'd have rathered that and actually just have a quick little, and nothing set in stone. But it would be nice if, we get a little bit of Tony Stark showing up and just, hey, Robert Downey Jr., why not? And just, hey, Miss Knight, I heard about that heroic thing that you did. I got something for you. That would be great. That'd be great. But I'd be okay with Rand doing it. Fine, whatever. No direct connection to the larger MCU, I guess. But either way, the big question on my mind is, what is the arm going to be made out of? Is it just going to be made out of standard steel? Will they consider using vibranium? If they do use vibranium, which would give it that subtle connection to the larger Marvel universe, could they go and do it actual authentic to the comic books and make it Antarctic vibranium? That's right. Those of you who are not familiar, there's actually two kinds of vibranium in the Marvel universe, two major kinds, two major strains, I guess you could say. There's standard vibranium, which is the bulk of it. The bulk of vibranium in the world is Wakandan vibranium. It did land entirely in Wakanda, and it is the driving force behind its economy and therefore and everything else like that. But Wakandan vibranium absorbs sound. It absorbs vibration more specifically. Hence, a subset of that is it will absorb sound. But Antarctic vibranium is called the metal killer. All right, it actually the anti-metal is one of the main names for it. It actually melts other forms of metal. So while it itself can remain solid, all other forms of metal around it, including Wakandan vibranium, will actually melt. Now, this could be a good thing. You could use it to sculpt and shape all sorts of different kinds of metals and whatnot. Yeah, cool, At the same time, I've never actually seen it work against Captain America's shield, so maybe it technically wouldn't do that, but I have seen it work against a lot of things. It all depends on the writer. So they could technically make it so that this would melt Wolverine's bones, the adamantium around his bones. Either way, not getting that deep into speculation in this video. What I am getting into is that is a huge part of what she does. She can't carry a gun in her right hand because the gun will melt. She has to carry the gun in her left hand now and get used to shooting that way. So will we see that? Will we see her actually? Here's something that I'm very interested in because there's a whole bunch of bionic components in there that she can release a short distance EMP to shut down all electronics in the area, a scrambler to isolate certain electronics like radio transmissions. She can actually control other cybernetic life forms. So like if there's a bunch of robots running around, she can control them. It could release a cryogenic blast that will freeze people in its place. And of course, the idea that if there's a robot or something in front of her and she backhands it, it would melt. You know what I'm saying? It would get a huge melty stain across its face because it's made of the anti-metal. But what I'm actually most interested in is this is a TV version of a character with a bionic arm. So I'm sure that we're going to see a whole bunch of tough, like it's one thing to see Luke Cage walking down the street being tough, but now we get to see Misty Knight walking down the street right next to him being pretty much just as tough. But Fox is is releasing, coming soon, Deadpool 2. And that is going to feature Cable, who has a bionic left arm. I know the comic book history behind it, not interested right now. For the purpose of this video, it's a very similar bionic arm. All right, so with this, He's able to, deflect bullets and things like that. We saw him do that. He just, starts walking forward and bing, 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 like that. Will we see Misty Knight doing something like this? Now, here's an interesting juxtaposition that I want you to really consider, all right, because it's all over my mind. Do we remember when we saw two Quicksilvers were about to debut at the same time? I believe it was it Days of Future Past that Quicksilver was set to release in for the Fox line of X-Men films, and then Avengers 2, the Marvel version of Quicksilver. All right, so we have both of these versions of Quicksilver. The Fox one released first. So once that happened, Marvel kind of made the mistake, I guess, of saying, okay, so we can't have him do anything like that. Also, so they were planning on doing something very similar like that. Before they were planning on doing that, that was actually Plan B. Plan A was do something very similar to how Inception happened. There, the things moving and him just, running forward and banging and smacking things and all sorts of crazy things like that. But once Inception came out, like, we can't do that. People just say we're copying. So they said we can't copy off Inception. We can't copy off of the X-Men. We have to do our own thing. And all of us were left feeling kind of flat with that particular version of Quicksilver. And I guess that the best that Joss Whedon could do was, let's try and make it a really heartbreaking moment and we'll kill him. Yeah, and then everybody will feel bad for him and say that it was the best version. Whatever. If that was his intent, it fell short. In fact, that version of Quicksilver is just something that we made fun of. Well, I didn't make fun of it, but I know a lot of you guys did. I'm looking at you. So here's the question. Is Marvel going to fall into that same mistake? Will they see what... I know that technically Marvel owns-ish Fox right now and owns-ish that movie, but not yet. Not until all that the deal is completely free. The debris is still falling, all right? So Fox is still taking full accountability for that movie, for Deadpool 2. So with this being the case, will Marvel see what Cable is doing in that movie, like this scene here, and will they say, okay, well, we can't do that in this one now. We've got to do all sorts of different things. I don't know. Will they make the mistake of not doing something similar or not trying to top what they're doing over there? That is probably the biggest question in my mind. Anyway, from what I see, it looks good. Just the pictures alone, that little short clip, you can find it on YouTube, just like you found this. And that's pretty much it for me for On the Horizon. 2 in 1 day. Amazing. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.